The Colorado Department of Human Services confirms it is investigating potential fraud and child safety concerns related to a former social worker in Arapahoe County. The investigation focuses on the ex-partner of the former Aurora police chief, Vanessa Wilson, and whether she baselessly separated children from their families during her time as a social worker.
Now we're talking about Robin Niceta, already facing charges and accused of filing a false child abuse report. A series of new lawsuits accuse the department of using false complaints and false testimony to wrongly take children away from their families. Here with more is 9 News reporter Mark Salinger.
Good morning, everyone.
The families who gathered outside the Arapahoe County Department of Human Services Thursday morning don't know each other, but their lawyer says they've all experienced the same thing.
These parents are parents and caretakers who have had their children ripped away from them or nearly ripped away from them.
A series of new lawsuits allege the Arapahoe County Division of Child Protective Services used improper investigations, false testimony, and fabricated evidence to separate kids from their families.
This is absolute unchecked power.
The lawsuits began after false child abuse allegations were made against Danielle Jurinsky, a member of the Aurora City Council. The false claims led to the arrest of Robin Niceta in May. Niceta is the ex-partner of former Aurora Police Chief Vanessa Wilson. She worked as a social worker for Child Protective Services.
Robin Niceta, you picked the fight with the wrong person, the wrong one.
Councilmember Jurinsky says she thought the false allegations were made by Niceta to get retribution for Jurinsky's critical comments about the police chief. She says she now believes there's a pattern of systemic wrongdoing by the Arapahoe County Department of Human Services that has led to dozens of children being wrongly taken away from their families.
As we stand here right now, some of these women are still missing their children. And I can't stand that. I can't stand that.
Attorney Elliot Cinder says his new class action lawsuit already has more than 40 people alleging wrongdoing.
Conduit Law yesterday filed a class action lawsuit naming 4 defendants, including the Arapahoe County Department of Human Services, regarding unconstitutional and illegal violations of many of these parents who are standing behind me.
Robin Niceta worked on some of the cases represented in the lawsuit, but not all. Jurinsky says the common thread is the Arapahoe County Department of Human Services.
I believe it to be more systemic than just her. I think there's a gross failure to supervise.
In Aurora, I'm Mark Salinger, 9 News.
As it stands, 3 civil lawsuits, 1 federal case have all been filed against Arapahoe County, DHS, and Robin Niceta so far. Niceta resigned her position as a social worker in early May and was released on bond shortly after being arrested. Arapahoe County has not chosen yet to comment on these new lawsuits. A Colorado woman left with serious injuries after being shot in Milwaukee last night.
She is one of 3 injured in the shooting. Another person is dead, and this all happened near the scene of a house fire. The shooting victims range in age from 65 to 88 years old, with the woman from Colorado being the oldest. She's in the hospital right now. The woman who died was 82. At the time of the shooting, a nearby house was on fire. According to police, that home belongs to the suspected shooter. Firefighters had to be extra careful fighting the flames due to the possibility that the armed attacker could be in the area.
While officers were on scene, a separate residence at the shooting scene started on fire. This residence was believed to be occupied by the suspect. Obviously, due to the possibility of the armed suspect inside the residence, Milwaukee Fire Department and Milwaukee Police Department had many challenges.
Crews were able to get that fire out. Police said the suspect took off and went into the house after the shooting. Investigators searched the burned home. They did not find anyone. Police have not discussed a motive for the shootings.
We are in these final days of August now, and if you look outside, you can see some cloud cover there up in the northern part of our camera range. And Kathy's with us now. We're inside a month to go until we hit autumn, and it started to feel like it in some of these mornings.
It is. It's a little crisp in the morning, and these afternoon showers each day have just been so lovely, haven't they?
Lovely. Well, we're inside, so yes, lovely.
As long as it's just the right amount.
I know,
right?
the grass is growing, the flowers are blooming, it's just terrific, and nothing severe, which is even better. And so far the evening drive looks okay. The showers that we're tracking, though, could produce some heavy rainfall between now and 8 o'clock. So outside we go. We went from mostly sunny to mostly cloudy skies in spite of the late day cloud cover. 90 in Denver. Look at all the water on I-70 as those folks are traveling in and out of the Johnson-Eisenhower tunnel. We do have temperatures in the 60s currently in the mountains, 81 in Denver, still 90s out on the far eastern plains. All of that moisture coming in, interacting with a front that's sliding in from Wyoming. We have slow-moving storms coming off the foothills for Denver, so scattered showers are likely between now and 8. We're not expecting severe storms, but a brief heavy downpour outside of Conifer, Castle Pines, Ponderosa Park, and Parker not out of the question. Flash flood watch remains in effect for the I-70 corridor through the evening because we're seeing rain day after day in some of the same areas in and around Glenwood Springs, the East Troublesome Burn Scar, and the Cameron Peak Burn Scar. So traveling I-70, be mindful of that. Around here, a brief shower over the next couple of hours, then skies will clear. Temperatures are comfortable in the mid-70s. And in Maine weather, we're going to talk about the rain potential on Friday and look ahead to a warmer, drier weekend forecast.
Well, after years of turmoil, which have included accusations of racially biased policing and have seen the firing of the police chief in Aurora, that police department has been mostly out of the news this summer. But still, crime in Aurora is on the rise.
It is a conversation this week that we're going to share with you with 9 News crime and justice reporter Matt Jabla with the department's interim chief, who says bringing a sense of calm after the storm has been one of the highest priorities since taking over.
Yeah, there's a good sense that we're sort of finally moving forward.
Thank you, Mr. Manager.
3 months after returning to the department he led for 8 years a decade ago, Aurora Interim Police Chief Dan Oates says no news has been good news this summer for his beleaguered department.
I think we're on our way. I'm not aware of any significant controversies in recent months. That's a good sign.
Oates came back to Aurora PD in May of this year after the very public firing of now former chief Vanessa Wilson.
It's really, really traumatic for a police department to lose their police chief under the circumstances under which Chief Wilson left.
Before Wilson's firing, the department was already reeling from several high-profile cases of alleged excessive force, most notably the death of Elijah McClain, which led to an agreement or consent decree with the state that requires major reforms to the department's practices and policies.
No one in this organization is complaining about the consent decree. They see it as a way to get us back to respectability if we follow that process.
Oates says the path back to respectability will also include greater attention to detail, something he says he's emphasized since he came back.
That's the difference in management styles between me and people who were here before me.
He's also made plans for comprehensive de-escalation training for the entire department, developed a new community relations initiative, and hired more civilians for a number of positions within the department. The goal is to get more cops on the street amid a significant uptick in violent crime and a shortage of cops.
People are still distraught about what the organization has been through and the hit on our reputation over the last couple of years. But I do detect a sense that things are improving.
Are you optimistic about the future of this department?
Yes, very much.
Oates said perhaps more than anything, what the department needs right now is a full-time chief. He said the hiring process is moving along well, and the hope is to have someone in place by the middle of November. Kim?
And then what would he do? Would he help with that transition, or do you know?
Briefly, it's been his plan all along to be back in retirement by the end of December, and I think he's on that timeline still.
It's always good right before the holidays to really go back to retirement.
That's his hope.
If it works out. All right. Thank you, Matt.
Well, the Denver Broncos-Seattle Seahawks matchup to start the regular season now 18 days away, and StubHub says that ticket for the Monday night opener in Seattle is now the 9th hottest ticket for the entire NFL season. Of course, Seattle fans want to be there to see Russell Wilson come back to town while not wearing a Seahawks jersey. StubHub has tickets in the upper reaches of Lumen Field that night for more than $200 apiece. Lower level seats near midfield, all over $1,000 each.